Item, Commissioner Gonzalez. I also too will wait. One of the items on the agenda comes up on my public comment. You want to come up and state your name? And let me read this before you start. Sure. During this portion of our meeting, we welcome your suggestions and want to hear your concerns. This is not a question and answer period. Speakers will be limited to 5 minutes. The County Commission is not able to take action on matters discussed during public comment. Speakers are requested to state their name for the record.
Bella Aragon. Thank you for listening to me, Commissioner and Chairman. I am a Magdalena middle school teacher. I am also a resident of Riley, and I'm here on behalf of the residents this morning on behalf of the meeting that they were scheduled, that we were told to attend. I could not attend because I work, but a number of residents were there by the roadside this morning and were passed right by. They were there on their four-wheelers. They were there as they were told. None of their concerns were addressed. I don't even begin to have the words to express how I felt that our commissioners, the people that went out there, just bypassed the citizens of Riley. It seems like Riley has always been put on the back burner. Their needs, I've been here for 5 years. It just seems like it's over, the same agenda is over and over. None of their issues are addressed. The boundaries, they're telling us the county fights with BLM. BLM has been fighting with the Forest Department. Now I hear there's the road that's in question is a private road, which is very unlikely because there should be an easement that's been there and has been used for a number of years. So it just seems to me nobody wants to take accountability. Everyone keeps pointing the finger to each other. And the people that live out this and that live out at Riley, we're the ones that are left trying to manage our roads. I'm a teacher, like I said, I live in Riley. I drove that road for 1.5 years. I completely tore up my Jeep with those roads. So I stay now in town to avoid that. But I've spoken a number of times to Ray. Ray knows my concerns. And thank you, Ray, for listening, because I believe that if you would have been there this morning, you would have stopped and addressed those residents. So I'm just terribly disgusted with how the residents have been treated out in Riley. And we want answers. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Public comment?
Hello, my name is Jason Frame. I represent Socorro County Community Alternatives Program, a CPSW CCSS worker. I was asked to be here by Athena Gasumis, my director. And she wanted me to bring to our attention that we have been going to the ORC, which is the Opioid Remediation Collaborative, and we've attended a couple meetings. We're looking at a community involvement, possibly on, nothing's been solidified. We're going to have another meeting on the 21st to discuss this and make sure that we have a location, date, and time. And it's looking like it's going to be on November 2nd. I don't have a place or a time on that, but that would possibly be the date. I also have some news from the tribal allocation appointee, stating that they have reached an agreement with the opioid litigation with TIVA, and they were going to offer 119 million to the tribes over 13 years, and also 400,000 doses of naloxone. So hopefully we can get our neighboring tribe to ask for some of that, and hopefully get them some additional help. That's all I have for today, Commissioners.
Just one comment,
Yes,
on that date, if you could just send the date and place to our manager,
yes, sir.
that way he can send it to the commissioner.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing none? Okay. Now we come to the good part, presentations. We're gonna recognize some employees from our county. They're gonna get some well-deserved awards. These awards came, to give you a little history, from the Southwest County Commission Alliance, which is called the SWACA. Catron County is part of it. Grant County is part of it. Hidalgo County is part of it. Luna County is part of it. Sierra County is part of it, and ourselves. Every year, once a year, well, no, we meet quarterly, but once a year, each county turns in their nominations for these awards. We were very fortunate to get most of the ones that we turned in. The only one we didn't get was Commissioner of the Year. That one went to Sierra County. So I have the plaques here. The first one is Employee of the Year. Mike, all the commission want to go up there with you?
Do you want to announce all three, chairman, and then everybody can move?
Yeah. The first one is Employee of the Year, Manuel Guerrero. He works for the Road Department. The Organization of the Year, Nance, Pato, and Stout, LLC County Attorneys. And the third one is Individual of the Year, Michael A. Hawks, County Manager. Can you up there?
Freedom? Joey, he's not a duck. Really walk like. That's what I was doing.
We'll do manual first. Let's go to the front.
Yeah.
You know, Manuel has been working for us for going to be 29 years. I remember when he started. That makes me kind of old.
Yeah.
But he's a very good operator. We're very lucky to have him. You have some family members here. Do you want to
Yes.
introduce them?
My wife Rita and my daughter.
She can come up here.
If they want to.
Yeah, they're part of it.
I just wanted to make a little
Sure.
to thank her and my daughter.
Where's your daughter?
She's right there.
Oh, come on. Oh, you're taking the picture.
She's been, my wife and her has been supportive. All these past years, I've been like bad bosses, you know. Every time they yell at me and that. I said, I'm going to quit. I'm going to retire. I don't like these people that are doing it. He's too personal. He's telling me to. Don't put those people through your heads. Just go. Just go. So I just kept on moving. And I got 3 granddaughters that I need to spoil too. So I'm gonna keep here. Appreciate that. Thanks. I'm gonna try to be as best employee of the for the county, you know.
He knows every road.
You want me to read this?
Yeah.
Okay, so on behalf of Socorro County Commissioners, is the plaque says, working together for responsible management. The Coalition of Arizona and New Mexico County recognizes Manuel Guerrero, New Mexico State Employee of the Year, 2022.
That was for last year.
For this, okay, so this past year. So that's what the sir. You.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for keeping him in line.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
Next one is Nance.
What is that plaque?
That's all.
That's what it. Okay.
His law firm has been with us for 20 years, right, Mike?
That's right. 20 years.
And all the other counties, he's the attorney for the other counties. They all speak highly of him, his attorney firm. He saved us a lot of money in lawsuits, I know for us. So, well deserved award. Can't meet a nicer guy. You call him any time of the night, he answers the phone. Or he gets back to you right away.
Right.
So,
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the kind words. You know what, we really love working with you guys. It's a great county, and the other counties we represent are great. Kathy's been my business partner, and Mr. Pato, Mr. Pato, he couldn't make it today. His kids were doing a soccer game, but Kathy, you know, we've been together for a long time, except she just now went to the dark side, and now she's working with the district attorney to finish up her retirement. But
Just came to the cake.
she just came. She was she just now went, so she's been, you know.
Can't afford food anymore.
I feel like an honest at church.
And we're greatly honored. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
you.
So the Coalition of Arizona, New Mexico counties recognizes Nance, Pato or Pato, Pato and Stan, LLC, Mexico Organization of the Year 2022.
Thank you.
Thank you. Where's the cake?
The next one is for our county manager.
And this one reads, working together for responsible management, Coalition of Arizona and New Mexico County recognizes Mike Hawks Individual of the Year 2022. But just so you know, me and Mike go back a long time, but not that long. You know, he is a Belen Eagle. He was a Coral Warrior, but at the end of the day, I appreciate Mike, the work that he does, and he is a good individual, even though he's an Eagle. And that's good. Thank you.
I mean, Audrey, you can go back a long. Well, thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Chairman, for nominating me for this position. I appreciate it. It is true that Joe and I go back all the way since 1976 when we played at Clark Field, and he robbed me from the only touchdown that and I'll never let him forget it. So this sort of makes up for it today. And with that said, it wouldn't have been possible without my support mechanism here, my better half.
Do you guys want to take a little break?
Sure, there's cake.
We will take a little break. There's coffee and cake, so everybody is welcome to join us. Served Award. Next item is consideration of IT contract with Integrated Technologies, contract not to exceed 85,500. Mike?
Thank you, Chairman, Commission. In your packet is the contract selection of out of the RFP process and offer to IT Integrated Technologies. The contract is not to exceed 85,500, and I recommend a do pass.
Okay, you heard the recommendation of manager. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez. Second by Commissioner Secretarial. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? It is approved. Item B, consideration of New Mexico Department of Public Safety radio agreement.
Thank you, Chairman Martinez, Commission. In your packet is also the NMDPS radio agreement, in which we recommend a do pass and do sign for communications.
You heard the recommendation from the manager. Need a motion? Motion by Commissioner Secretarial.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Aguilar. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved, the radio agreement. Next one is item C, consideration of resolution 2023-74, public records fee schedule.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, before you is a resolution that revises our current fee schedule, and this is for both inspection of public records as well as the Records Act. So that would be research in the clerk's office and also all the IBRAs that we deal with. And of course, tell Mike and his office, they understand how bad it is. It reflects what the law allows us to charge, which and would hopefully cover some of our costs. What it really doesn't cover under IBRA, of course, is the staff time. I mean, the number of man hours that Mike's office, the rest of the county puts into this is absolutely ridiculous. And you can't charge for anything if you just email it to them. But that is another story. I recommend that you approve the update.
You hear the recommendation from our attorney. Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez. Need a second? Second by Commissioner Secretarial. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? It is approved. Resolution 2023-74, public records fee schedule. Item D, consideration of New Mexico Department of Finance grant appropriation for 3 years law enforcement recruitment and retention. Mike.
Thank you, Chairman, Commission. In your packet is a grant appropriation agreement with Mexico Department of Finance and Administration, which will allow the county to seek recruitment, retention of, I believe it's 3 law enforcement officers equipment, where it's 100%, I believe the first year, and I believe it drops to 70 and then 50 and then 0 after finality of year 3. And I recommend they do pass.
You heard the motion, you heard the recommendation from the manager. A motion by Commissioner Aguilar. Second by Commissioner Secretarial. Any further discussion?
This is
Hearing none.
state money?
Yeah. That's good. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved. Okay, this is item F, discussion and direction to staff regarding Civil Law National Forest Service County Road Department road agreement with affected community members.
Mr. Chairman, 1 second, and I'm sorry, I might have just missed it. When we did the same one earlier, did you approve the agreement? Did you do a motion to approve the agreement?
Which one, the grant? Which one?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this would be with, item E, consideration agreement with Valencia Shelter Services for same. And, I believe we had the presentation, but I don't think that you considered adoption of the agreement with them. It's to provide the junior appropriation money through, to the organization, which all, I believe 3 other counties are doing as well.
Thank you for catching that. You heard the recommendation of our attorney. Need a motion to approve the agreement with Valencia Shelter Services for Zane Services.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Aguilar. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The agreement with Valencia Shelter Services for Zane Services is approved. Down to the F, discussion and direction to staff regarding Cibola National Forest Service and County Roads Department road agreement with affected community members. Mike.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioner. I believe the Chairman had asked for this to be on the agenda up for discussion. I believe members of BLM and Forest Service are here. We did go out earlier today on County Road 12, Forest Service Road 354. There were community members that did meet us out there. There were some others just watching. We GPSed a few sites as well as identifying needs on those roads. But I believe on this, I believe you wanted to further discuss Forest Service Road 123.
Yes, but if you can give us a report on what you guys discussed there on County Road 12.
So we identified several areas. One main degraded area is actually on private property. And we're trying to discern who is the owner. We were being told by different people there who the owner is. So we're still trying to make sure it is factual who we believe the owner is in order to possibly get on the private property and change the direction of the flow of the flood, because it's been tremendously compromised. I think one more major rain and it could really damage that route. We identified some culverts that we needed to place, a low water crossing, and I believe, Virginia, if you want to come up and talk about some of that.
Hi, I'm Virginia Allgaier. I'm an assistant field manager for the Bureau of Land Management. And so, yeah, we went out to check out these roads. County Road 12 is what we call an RS 2477 road. So it has to stay status quo on BLM lands. So whatever that condition was when they applied for that road. And so Mike's correct. We took a GPS point of that washout and that was on private. And then there's an area that is really close to a private boundary, and it's very difficult to tell from taking the GPS point where they want to put in a low water crossing. And so it would require a survey to determine who owns what there, because we can't authorize something that's not BLM. So if the county would need to go out and survey that, or maybe find the corner quarters. So once we get our GPS points on our base map, we'll be able to share that with Mike, and we can see if we can go out there on the ground and find out where the markers are. Because if it's not totally on BLM, we can't authorize on other lands. So, and because it is RS 2477, in general, we can't improve or make changes to that kind of road. So we would have to work with the county through the process of getting a right of way, if it is all on BLM, to put in that low water crossing. And as you probably all know, when you're working through NEPA and that process, it's not gonna happen overnight. So any other questions for me?
Questions? That came about when we had that public meeting. There were some citizens that came to the meeting and said that road was very dangerous. And they had brought it to our attention last year and nothing had happened. So I requested the manager to call you guys again and meet, and you guys met. So now we have a report to provide to any citizen of what you guys found. If you can compile a report, Mike, of what you guys came about with all this information you just said. So if somebody comes in, we can tell. Is that road real dangerous to travel for anybody now?
Well, I think if you're going at high rates of speed, yeah, but that any roads are. It does have some erosion issues, and there was some rain, I guess, overnight because we had to go through some water, standing water. But yeah, if you're not flying through there, I don't know. Now, where that big washout is on the private, that could be a dangerous situation if that continues to erode. But I can only speak for BLM. I can't speak for the county or the Forest Service. BLM doesn't maintain county roads or Forest Service roads. Our role is to issue the right-of-way grants to those individuals as they cross BLM or federal lands. So that's where our jurisdiction ends. But we can assist by, and I mentioned this to both Forest Service and county, we can issue them a free use permit for mineral materials for use in repairing any county roads in the county. But they have to go through that process of obtaining a free use permit. And then also by trying not to make them bring that entire road under the Federal Land Policy Management Act, because it is RS 2477. In certain locations, we can work with the county or the Forest Service if they want to improve beyond their right-of-way footprint. We can possibly issue site right-of-way to install a little water crossing or a culvert or a cattle guard.
So what happens, ma'am, if that road is completely gone? You're saying where it's private land.
I don't know. I mean, that's not something that BLM as a federal agency is responsible for.
Nice.
I can if it's on private land. So basically, you know, we're dealing with three types of roads here, which makes it complicated. But as we heard, an RS 2477 road is a road that was used prior to October 22nd, 1976, and once that date hit, then you have to maintain it as it was at that time. But the part over private land is a county prescriptive easement, which is like an RS 2477 in that it was established because the county has always used it, which means that the county, if you have to maintain within how it's historically been graded. That said, if there's a washout there, the county, if it's on the private land on the prescriptive part, the county can go in and repair it as it was and make some improvements, but it can't go really beyond the scope of what was previously done without, of course, obtaining right of way.
So it's our responsibility to fix that piece that's bad.
If it's on a county road that's over private property. Yeah.
So we need to find out who.
But I don't know who owns it, so yeah, for sure. No, if you don't have to get an because we already have an easement by use. But if we want to go any further or make any major improvements, then you do have to obtain a right of way. You can go and fix it, fill in the hole. But that's
And I'm hearing that we can request material from the BLM to do that.
Yeah, there's a process. We don't have a geologist on staff, but we use the geologist out of the Roswell field office. And I can put you in touch with them, but they have to fill out an application. And then with that application is an operations plan. And so it's up to the county to determine where they want to take these minerals from on federal lands. Like a mineral pit, and whether or not they have the equipment to process it and sort it. And we have a couple of active pits. There's one in Red Hill, just off of Highway 60. that they can request a pre-use permit from. And then there's one called the MCA pit over by, south of the BLM office, you know, where there's a AT&T site right
Yes,
off
ma'am.
I-25. Right in that area, there's an MCA pit, but we don't process the mineral material. That's whoever applies for that does that.
Can you help us in getting the forms? Can you send the forms to our manager?
Yes, I can send you the forms and I can send you the geologist's contact information, because he would do the processing.
Mike, what do you think, commissioners? I think we need to plan ahead, because if we keep on washing out, we're gonna have to fix it.
If I could, Mr. Chairman, about with that particular washout that we're talking about, if I'm familiar with it and Mike saw it, in order to solve the underlying problem, we do have to obtain right of way, because, you know, the washout and how it goes through is, you know, is beyond the historic use of the road. So that, I mean, other than putting a Band-Aid on it, to fix it, it would require right of way.
So we gotta start there. Mike?
Thank you, Chairman and Commission. The idea is, we're talking about today as we're looking over this, at least a 16-foot drop.
Yeah.
So the idea is because the arroyo took a change of course through heavy rains and now has headed southeast, and got fairly close to the road to getting ready to wipe it out. Our fear is that if another torrential rain, it will be even worse. The problem is you can't be on the road and then be dumping dirt into a private person's property. So the idea is to find out who the property owner is, outline the issues with him or them, and asking if we can run a grader down that arroyo and sturdy up that bank and try to make the water take its usual course that it used to about 3-4 years ago. That would be a first step. Our other steps we're talking about are protracted, waiting for you to identify the GPS locations and then starting to file the forms and trying to get the agreements going. But we can start all that. But that one right there is going into these months with snow and rain. We're going to ask Elaine to see if she can identify who the landowner is through land plats, and then our GIS person, and then actually go out there and contact him, because there were different landowners out there. Everybody was sort of guessing who the landowner was. So the idea is to go out there, talk to the landowner, and try to explain how emergent that one area is. And then we'll address that washout hopefully, and try to avert some situation. The low water crossing that's going to be the long drawn out process, because we're going to have to find either the brass points or another way, or a survey that somebody's going to have to pay for to get and then go through the process that you outlined for us. So that's how I see it in my head, and planning our steps forward. That's what I think we
Okay, Mike, you were there and she was there. On that road, the arroyo is coming on the bottom and it's eating the road, and you said it's a 15-foot drop off going down?
Yeah.
Okay, how are we gonna prevent, the water's gonna go to its flow, it's gonna continue eating it. It's gonna flow that way. Do you think gabion baskets to put them, to help bring them up?
Well, I'm not an engineer, but it should be designed with an engineered design.
Yeah. Because if we put dirt there, it's just gonna wash it away.
Well, that's the idea of getting the arroyo to act like it used to. And we can't put any gabions in there because right there is private property. I mean, our easement is that road, then there's a small embankment, Vita Joe, and I don't know whose property that is, so we don't even know private property is right up against the road, or how far to the west it is. So the idea would be to talk to the landowner. To the west, there is a natural arroyo, but it's because of the floods. Another one was created in a swirl, and like you said, it's undercutting that embankment. And so we can't go in and start doing any work. We can't do any work to private land unless they allow us. So the idea would be to move with the landowner as expeditiously as possible to make the arroyo like it used to be and reinforce that embankment and stop the undercutting. And then hopefully work with the landowner about maybe doing some reinforcement, heavier reinforcement.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you for going out there and
Good.
helping us there. But I really feel that the commission, it's the commission, but I really feel we need to continue working on it because in Alamo, all those drainages, they were always washing away until they designed them with gabion baskets to divert the water down. So it hits them, the water goes where it's supposed to, instead of behind, it cuts the road. So we've got a lot of work to do.
The BLM's willing to entertain any improvements that they want to do on the road. They just have to go through the process if it's going to be outside of that original footprint.
Yes, ma'am. So we'll be probably contacting. Thank you so much. The other thing is, we had that public meeting and Tina's here. We met again. And the Forest Service, we have an agreement with them where they pay us to do 1, 2, 3, 4 miles, Forest Road 10, 11.3 miles, Forest Road 354, 15 miles, Forest Road 336 miles, Forest Road 506, 9 miles. Tina was gonna look at those and see if she could cut some mileage on some of those Forest Service roads and add them to 1, 2, 3, correct? Can you come up?
Sorry. Yes, sir. We discussed looking into that for FY '24. So we haven't started the FY '24. It'd be an agreement modification. So we have a 5-year agreement. And then every year annually, we reevaluate the roads and the funding that we have, which at the moment we don't have any. And we discuss what roads and what mileage we would like to push forward for that year. So for FY '24, we've discussed taking some of the roads off, maybe moving some of those road mileages around. The problem with 1, 2, 3 is, once again, like BLM, we can't put money onto private land. And so once we hit that checkerboarded portion, so beyond the first 4 miles of Forest Road 1, 2, 3, we can't add Forest Service or government funding to the remainder part of that road. So all we'd be doing is looking at reblading the first 4 miles of the funding that we would put towards it.
Oh, okay, I misunderstood you. And on 1, 2, 3, there's 10.44 miles left in order to get to the end, right?
Correct.
Okay, in the past, I talked to past commissioners that were here before. The county used to blade that all the way through and even go farther. They would go towards Alamo, that road that goes to the Alamo Reservation, and then they would go towards Riley. I don't know when it stopped. When did we stop doing that? But it's not, according to what I understand, it's not on our maintenance agreement. Since then, I've been asking our manager to look into a lot of stuff for us, and he has. I would like to recommend to the commission that we add those 10.44 to our road maintenance, because it costs us you're paying us $306 a mile. So for 10 miles, if we do it once, how much is that come?
3,060.
Okay. So that would be another 3,000 cost to us to be able to take it over. My recommendation, because of all the people that live out there, and we used to do it in the past, that we add those 10 points to do it all the way to the end. That's my recommendation to the commission. I think it's doable. There's a motion. I need a second.
Those 10 miles, who do they belong to? They're not Forest Service roads?
No, part of it.
Majority of it's not Forest Service, it's checkerboarded, so it's private BLM state. I think there's very little BLM, but very little state, and maybe there's a little bit of reservation that's checkerboarded throughout that northern portion.
So the part of the 10 can be paid by agreement? No?
She said no.
We can't put it on the private land. If we could figure out what portions of it was,
That's what I'm asking.
I mean, there's a 1/10 of a mile of road and we can work that through. But anything that's on
Really
the
checkerboard,
Forest Service land, we can put money towards it.
that's what I'm saying. Just use some of the Forest Service money, but if it's so minimal, it doesn't really matter. In other words, if it's 30% of it's Forest Service money and we have that money, then just so that
Well, it's
the
3,000.
Forest Service is paying their fair share for taking care of their road and the rest of the county. That's all.
Yeah, we can definitely look into that and see what those mileage of Forest Service road would potentially add to that.
And that's my recommendation that we take it over.
Mr. Chairman, if I might, I think just the way we have the proper item with this would be to direct staff to bring back the road maintenance resolution, and then we can add that at the next meeting or take that consideration.
Okay, thank you for helping.
If we do add that to the county, that would be part of that agreement, that we would show county's portion to the agreement and Forest Service portion. That's kind of how that agreement works, is it's a mutual, we see a benefit that mutually benefits both Forest Service users and our residents. So we could add that to the agreement.
So we're going to the level of the Forest Service roads again. I find it very disconcerting that is designated a level 2 road by the Forest Service, and then we start putting a blade down and increasing probability of speed. So I find that a little disconcerting because level 2, is my understanding, the definition is a 2-track road.
It's more than a 2-track road, but it can be down to a 2-track road. But for us, we can't maintain it with a blade. We're supposed to maintain it with a dozer. And that shows our level of maintenance to what the roads we're supposed to put our funding towards. And so that's where that agreement is signed above my head. And so they're agreeing to put that funding towards the agreement with you guys, knowing that it's going to be bladed as written in the agreement.
So you're not designating that road to the county, it's gonna be in our agreement. Because designating it would take a long, drawn out process, right?
I don't know what that would take.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something y'all would even be interested in doing. I know we've talked about it, but I don't know if
So I
y'all
think-
are interested, and I don't know what that would take on my end.
Everybody else I've talked to, it's a huge process. So I think if we put it in the agreement and that we're not adopting the road, so I don't know if we have to put it on the road maintenance schedule. Because we don't get funds based upon miles, we get it on our GRT. As long as we have it in the agreement, or maybe we put it on the road maintenance.
It has to be on
With an
the
asterisk.
Yeah.
With an asterisk.
We can do asterisks, yeah, it needs to be on that list.
Maybe do that.
Okay. I think we'll direct the staff and you guys to do that. But if we do that, Tina, I was just thinking now, you recently hired an operator, right?
Yes, sir.
For the Forest Service.
Forest Service that's located at Magdalena, yes.
What I would recommend to Mike and the commission, some of the other forest roads that we maintain for you, that you bring that individual in and he does it. That way we don't, some of that money can go somewhere else. But they're gonna get one, get them.
We don't have the equipment at the time. We have the operator, we're still working on the equipment.
You don't have one grader?
We have one grader and it's usually tied up with the operator we had prior. So we had Forest Service, Siebel as a whole, had one operator. We now have two operators, but we don't have one piece of equipment.
They don't share?
Not yet.
Okay, but at least they have one, and that's for future discussion.
But we're working on it. He's not one of my employees out of the office. He's just stationed at the office, based out of our supervisor's office. So that's based out of the supervisor's office and they have to figure that out.
So when you say it has to be level 2, that means, if I'm hearing right, that it's cut with a dozer. Am I hearing that right?
That's what, if we were to maintain it with our own equipment, with our own, then we would have to maintain it with a dozer. Or
Somebody else
opposed
puts a blade on it, does it matter to you guys? Or would
The
you?
way that the agreement wrote is with a blade. So I think at the moment with the agreement, the county should be.
But it's okay to use.
Should be covered with the agreement of us saying a blading.
I was just gonna say, if it's a technicality, we'll just say that our dozer operator makes it look like a blade.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't think we've had a problem with arguing that. I think it was more, when we're wanting more funding to go that way, we're getting pushback saying it's a level 2 road. So we can't keep adding more and more funding towards a level 2 road.
Okay.
Commissioners, if you can, on a weekend that you have some time, take a drive out there and see that road. My thing is, and to the public, there's a lot of people, not only in that road, but there's a lot of people, and to me, we need to help when we can legally, because it doesn't matter if it's a level 2 or a level 3, people need to go to work, they need to go to school, emergency services. I think we need to help, work it some way. And all the information that our manager provided me on the funding, I'll ask him to provide it to the other commissioners, and when we vote on it in the next commission meeting, I think it's something doable. Because it's needed and we used to do it in the past. So thank you, Tina, for coming. Do you have any questions from us?
No, not at this time, but they did blade it like in the last 2 days.
Yes.
Looks really nice. So if you're gonna take that drive, let's see what your blade man does. He's pretty awesome.
Well, that was approved by our manager, so I thank him. We'll go and.
I only seen the first 4 miles, but I'm guessing maybe you're saying it went further? No, just first 4 miles? 354, I've seen that this morning. So I did try to catch up with them this morning on 354. I got stopped with the folks that wanted to talk, so I didn't get to tie in with the county and the BLM once we hit Forest Service stuff, but we did GPS a couple of locations, and we'll take that on up to our engineers on the 354. So
And 354 is a level 3. So
354 is a level 3, so anything more than what I understand from our agreement, anything more than the blading would have to either be renegotiated or would have to come out of our office. And so I will take that forward and see how our supervisor's office wants to handle that.
Emmanuel said that it needed some work done on 354. He did 8 miles today on 354.
There was probably 3 spots that could definitely use some help, some erosion control. But the majority of it, most of the folks that had the highest concerns were either on private or on BLM.
Okay.
I did visit with the gentleman that's trying to get his trailer in. He's pretty upset. I think everybody has talked to him now. But I was on BLM land at the time, so I couldn't give him any direction because I couldn't really do anything with words. So.
You'll be able to get it minus lady there again tomorrow. You'll be pretty close to finishing.
Do you guys have anything else for me?
No. And thank you again for coming.
Sure.
We'll continue the conversations with the agreement. Thank you. Anything else? Well, commissioners, we need to direct the staff to work on this and put it on the agenda for our next meeting. And we'll have Mike present it to the commission. Need a motion for that?
So moved. Second.
Second, Commissioner Gonzalez made the motion, and second by Commissioner Secretary. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? You've got direction to work on it. Item G, consideration of road name change from Camino Eduardo, AK Camino Eduardo to Old West Ranch Road. Mike.
I do have something that I would like to say before you guys vote on this. Camino Eduardo is not the road that's requesting to be name changed. Camino Eduardo still exists. The road name change is for that portion of County Road 270 that is north of Camino Eduardo. It's a 7-mile stretch. County Road 270 consists of El Centro, Ladrone Vista, and it continues up. It's like a total of 11 miles. But I know that that portion north of Camino Eduardo has been abandoned at this point, and that portion north of Camino Eduardo is of County Road 270 is what Mr. Stromey is requesting the road name change for. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay. You told Mike already before, no?
I think so, yeah. But it was on the thing, so I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't Camino Eduardo that's gonna have the name change.
Recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, I believe this went through the process and there are no other people that live off of that portion of the road. This was the previous portion that we had done the agreement with Mr. Morietti.
Oh, yeah.
And so really, just to make clear in the motion, it's County Road, it's a portion of County Road, what is it?
270.
Yeah, in the motion, you would say just to name a portion of County Road 270,
7 miles.
Old West Ranch Road, yeah.
So the road is actually County Road 270. and
Yes,
It now has 3 different names at 3 different
No.
points. No, it's order.
They
County
can-
Road, yeah, County Road 270 does. County Road 270 is El Centro, and then it becomes Ladrone Vista, and then it continues up, so, and then it was unnamed, just County Road 270, so yeah, it's a long road, so,
So this
large, about 4 miles, the first 4 miles go through a subdivision, and that's why the different road names, because it's a subdivision. And that portion does continue to get maintained, I believe, those first 4 miles, I believe.
So what happens on Google Maps when we do this?
I'm trying to tell Google Maps that it's not Camino Eduardo that goes up north, but I do work with Google Maps
Yeah.
practically on a daily basis. I do. And I struggle because it's all AI. It's not an actual person that I can reason with, so it's hard.
The Russian.
And I, just to maybe make clear, say that portion of County Road 270, which was previously vacated by this board, that is what we're naming.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Aguilar, to rename the portion that was abandoned by the county, County Road 270 to Old West Road. And Elaine, I've heard a lot of people that you've helped, especially in the subdivisions, to get their name, numbers and all that. They've been very helpful. I've gotten emails. So thank you for helping, especially in the Magdalena area,
Thank you for the acknowledgement. I appreciate that very much.
the big help. So,
If you're looking for a job in Costa Rica,
Costa Rica, send me tomorrow.
my direction,
It's a nice
you're there.
place.
Yeah.
Thank you, commissioners.
thank you.
All right.
Did we vote on all in favor signify by saying aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? 2 seconds. Yeah, it was coming together. Hearing none, it is approved for the change. Item H, consideration of acceptance of Albuquerque asphalt bid for speed hump construction for commission for designated areas.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioner. In your packet, you have the Albuquerque asphalt bid for the speed hump construction in the areas which the commission authorized Dennis Engineering to do engineering study and report. And both of those areas, we received a bid. And it's above my signing authority, so
Is that the only bid we got? We asked for?
I believe it went, Art used a state pricing agreement. Is that correct?
Yes.
State pricing.
Decided.
Did we check with local vendors?
Originally, Mike, forgot to mention that to you the other day, is that we're piggyback off of the city.
Yeah.
That's usually the best price in those price agreements.
Yes, usually.
So, yeah, the gentleman called me up, I think, what was it, Thursday? He told me, well, you could piggyback off the city if you want, and I called the city, they said, yeah, go ahead.
So it's on 3 roads, Milo?
I can't remember. It's at least 3.
Yeah.
I just don't know where I'm gonna find the money. So if you authorize it, at least if it's authorized, I can start trying to find where I'm gonna get pool money from. I don't know where,
Okay.
but
Slush fund.
we don't have a slush fund. I wish. So I'm not sure how long that bid is good for, I think 90 days. But if you authorize it, I'll start the work because the commission authorized the engineering study and the placement. And so we've already paid for that. So now we're seeing how we can get the work underway.
Okay. So your recommendation is to approve it, Mike?
I would recommend, since the commission authorized both studies and paid for the engineering, that it be authorized and then leave it up to the manager's office to try to locate the funds within a reasonable amount of time to get it done.
Okay. You heard the recommendation, I need a motion?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Art, I mean, do we take a look at, I know where you got, I know the process of regards to how you drew down the base and whatnot. But did we even consider local businesses around here? In regards to projects like this?
I don't know if we go through state contract as well. I don't know if the A1's through state contract or not. I should have asked, but I should go through. I should ask them.
But if I could, Commissioner, that's a very valid point. If you would like to stipulate within your motion to move forward with the funding, but in the event if a local contractor is on the state pricing agreement and also can has a better bid, then we would utilize that. That would be allowed.
State press group.
As long as they're on the state pricing agreement.
I'll make a motion on that.
And yeah, I can talk to Mr. Aguilar tomorrow and give you that information the next time, the next meeting. And see what his pricing are, if he does that kind of work.
So, Commissioner Gonzalez, is that motion as what just Mike had said, or is that just a motion?
The motion with Mike just said.
Okay, in that case, I'll second.
Moving forward with the stipulation, say that the local vendor has a state contract.
Thank you, John.
Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Secretary. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is passed. Item I, consideration of property donation, Shirley Brown.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, this is a standard property donation. The assessor's office and the treasurer's office have confirmed that the requirements have been met. I've reviewed it and it meets with our obligations. I've prepared the warranty deed, so it is ready to be accepted if you so choose.
So
Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez to accept. Need a second?
Second, sir.
Second by Commissioner Secretary. All in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Any opposed? We accept the property donation of Ms. Shirley Brown. Item J, acknowledge personnel changes. Who wants to take that over?
To do that, make a motion to approve the personnel changes as presented, which are, Rita Brodus, election judge, new hire, $16 an hour. Betty McDonald, retired. That's it.
Okay. Need a motion to accept the personnel changes? Moved by Commissioner Aguilar. Second by Commissioner Secretary. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The commission acknowledged the personnel changes. Item 12. Item A and B.
I'll make the motion to approve payroll dated September 21st in the amount of $253,451.70. And accounts payable in the amount of $519,980.12.
Okay,
That one's dated October 6th.
okay. We'll approve those two, and then item C, that was tabled, so
Yeah, I don't that one here.
it's in the bottom. Okay, let's take that out.
And that's for the amount of $1 million, $5,243.70.
Okay.
So is there a reason why it's on table?
We didn't have it.
Oh,
Yeah, we didn't
okay.
have it.
So in that case,
It didn't add up.
yeah, okay.
More money than we had. It wiped out the slush fund.
So in that case, I will second Joe's motion, including the September 25th vote vendor's check for the amount of $1 million, $5,242.70.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Gonzalez. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Both vendors checks, payroll checks, and the one that was tabled September 26th, commission are approved, the vendors check. Executive session, we have no executive session, correct?
Correct.
Okay, easy. The next commission meeting is October 24th at 5 p.m. Fellow commissioners, I won't be here, so then I'm gonna be out of town for that day, so.
That's that boy.
So that way you know I'm not gonna be here. Motion to adjourn.
So-
You know, when somebody to-
So-
You're the vice chair.
Sound
Motion by
bad,
Commissioner
That's
Gonzalez,
what-
It's a matter.
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Secretary. We are adjourned at 6:57.
Just need signatures.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Sure. Yeah, I was thinking I wouldn't bring the phone, but I couldn't find it.
It's supposed to be the leading of the commission. I guess the people that built science screen. Or we have to, we always have capacity, whatever we can. Later, it must have been in feeling that we probably did. Is that really?
Yeah, so it describes here correctly what it is. So it's a RS 2477 road, which basically means, no, it means that, so basically what it means is, it was in existence, the RS 2477 was an old law that said, you know, if you use a road across federal land, that you get to keep using that road across federal land. So what the RS 2477 status means is that the feds can never shut it down. So the public will always have a right to use that road. Now, how it's maintained and all of that, I mean, we're gonna be fighting about that.
I mean, you know,
I didn't see.
It's a surprise. How many kids?
You were even a good cook.
No, I believe it. I think he told me, or my mom told me that.
Oh,
He
yeah.
said.
We did it all the time.
Hopefully it's good.
I hope so.
Early start.
Nice, have a good evening.
Have a nice week.
Yeah, there's some that are just management. There's one that required the chair reader operator. And I started getting called out.
So in that.
Actually, will you do a reminder? I don't know if he's charged or how.
Came back, I got
Okay. Thank you.
finding clothes on the house. It's been finished, but Josh hadn't been able to. Make it.
Because they do.
And we signed and the attorney goes, well, hopefully in about 2 months. But it takes a while. But we got a copy.
Trying to address. You had a good time, right?
Yeah, we did. We went way on one day.
So it might be that.
You could see that some of the color, some of the county, some of the,
Oh, it's great. It's straightforward.
yeah, you could kind of add all.
The thing is.
You would think that would be the share, no?
They're probably gonna authorize local governor into the authority. That's once a year.
So we got.
It's better than nothing. I mean, I'm not,
Which is good. I've been married 54 years. Really? Yeah.
really
Good.
like.
So, we had 17 of them going down.
And I know it did. That's why we didn't, you know, when we were sick, it's like, well, so that, you know.
Yeah, getting back to this, really, really good.
Yeah, well, it has a lot of weight because they can't stop
Stop
us
us from using the
from
road.
using the road. They certainly could make it.
But God, because.
That's right, but they can certainly make it. I mean, so yeah, without that RS 2477 status, the Forest Service could say.
She could, so after that, she didn't work, she just, well, she worked at.
She can take care of the kids.
Really?
You know, because all we wanted to do was go to like 10 months. You know,
Definitely messed up by the law. The only plan was actually, I'd rather stay.
That
money's gonna go away. Take that to the state. HOA.
To reimburse you for another year.
My friend, he was started with the state. He would have stayed for 6 years, 7 years. And he would have stayed with them. He retired.
One point there was a hole in the road that.
5 more years. Well, I think he would only be 48. And now he kicks himself every day. And he moved back for a girl, so he's studying with the girl.
That's what happens, you know, that's why I say I wouldn't exit. Other citizens, you know, it's crazy, you know, it's all calls. Like having a dinner, yeah, I got a jumble of stuff. You know, that pumpkin pie that comes with it. You guys have a good evening. No, that would be great. We have my card, take my card. I even have a and then, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
I tried calling it last week, let's see.
You want to start?
Guess the water is in.
No, they're just busy. And if they are, they can question.
That'd be great.
You guys should.
All right. And then you can pay for my road.
You live in town?
Oh, yeah. Remote areas. You guys, yeah. No, something. Trick to it. Yes. Bye-bye.
Thanks for staying.
He's right there.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
All right, that's why I like to see it. I can see it. Yourself. I'm doing a little bit. Still not there. Still not there. How about you? Still at it?
Right, good, great.
Very good thing. John Rush.
Oh, yeah, well, I guess it's all.
You're welcome.
Setting.
It's like, this isn't fair.